Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 48. I am one quarter of your hosting team this evening, Mr. Smoke Show Crawford, coming to you from the town of Swartz Creek in the county of Genesee, in the state of Michigan, in the United States of America, in the North American continent, in the Western Hemisphere, on the planet Earth, in the Milky Way galaxy, fully vaxxed, boosted, and waxed, fighting sharks and punching seagulls and ready to climax. And if you can, please get me wet and feed me after midnight.
Oh, we're after midnight.
Shit's getting wild then. And with me, as always,
Heather Powell, coming to you today from Waterdown, Ontario, Canada. This is the episode we've all been waiting for. It is so challenging to record with these two gentlemen, just simply because one's pretending to suck dick right now, and I'm sorry, I'm dying since he's doing it. It's midnight here. It's 4:00 in the afternoon there. You probably know them and love them. I feel like they are definitely one of the most popular podcasts out there. They have made it on the list of the top, 50 podcasts, horror podcasts that you need to listen to. If you must be living under a rock if you haven't heard of these two gentlemen.
They're our boyfriends.
They're our boyfriends, but more than that, they run brackets. They run raw reviews. They run a wrestling podcast. They are talented, they are funny, and they have natural charisma, and they are exactly what podcasters should be. And they don't care about using licensed music, which seems to not matter in Australia. So they're just completely mavericks and pioneers. And they are Daniel Loofy and Tim Davis from fucking Horror for Dummies. Welcome to the show, guys.
Yay, we're back, baby.
Scott cut you off. So Daniel, welcome back.
What up?
Tim, welcome back.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of something cool to say, but the blood from my brain is like just reached down to my penis. I'm looking at Scott. Yeah, baby, Crawford.
Yeah, Raging Scott Crawford's all around tonight, my friend.
Oh man, everybody, even me, I even have one. It's just
engorged clitoris.
Luffy,
yes.
Be on your best behavior tonight because we're on a fucking cool podcast.
Yeah,
sorry.
Like this is like an American one. You can't be talking about what you usually talk about.
Clitorises.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what you choose to call other podcasters as of now on your other show. Particularly Scott and I, but that's okay because
only nice things would I say or insinuate
or honest, right?
Yeah.
Or honest. So as you can tell, we've known Tim and Daniel for a couple of years now. Actually, the first episode I listened to was during the original lockdown. And it's when you guys talked about going to the grocery store, and Daniel, you talked about like licking people and shit. And I was like, this is a show for me. These guys are funny as fuck. And you continue to be, honestly, your chemistry is off the charts. And the hardest working Patreon out there. If you are listening to this show and you are not listening to Horror for Dummies and you are not a Patreon member, you need to change that today. And you need to go over and
so
listen.
Much stuff.
They do. They are like putting out stuff all the time. They just put out. And they're funny. And they know what they're talking about, even though Tim likes the complete opposite movies that Scott and I do, especially me. Like, if you don't like my taste in films, you'll like Horror for Dummies because you'll be like, Tim gets it. So that is a podcast you should be listening to. But we do have some questions for them like we do for all our guests. We'll start with Daniel. Daniel, How did you get into watching horror movies?
How did I get into watching horror movies? Well, I grew up with my uncle had a video shop, so I was just always in the fucking horror movie section, just like wishing I was allowed to watch them, and then just like sneakily at night I'd borrow them, and just kind of started from there. So from way before I was supposed to be watching them.
So what was the first one that you quote unquote borrowed?
Oh man, I can't even remember.
You're like Solo.
No, that would have been a good
great. Start them off right.
Yeah, honestly, no, I think it was something with zombies. I genuinely can't remember. I think I always liked zombies.
Zombies are your jam?
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
Until we watch way too many of them and burn out. But usually.
Well, right now you guys are watching Twilight films right now, is my understanding.
Oh, we're done, thank fuck.
Oh man, that's what you get when you go Patreon. But let's ask Mr. Tim Davis. How did you get into horror movies?
Oh, okay. So unlike Mr. Mushroom, I can remember my first movie. So I remember I was about 4 years old, and my dad had like VHS tapes of a few different movies. But the two movies that always came to my attention were Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, and Jaws. And those two films, those two VHSs, I watched religiously. I became so obsessed with both of these movies. Freddy was just someone I don't know. He was kind of the sole reason I became a horror fan. But at the same time, Jaws was as well. Like Jaws, if you haven't heard our show, Jaws is my all-time favorite movie. And that's basically the reason I got into horror. I was just obsessed with anything monstrous. So Freddy, of course, is the human side of monsters. Jaws was the nature side. And from then, it just grew. And my dad had Halloween 4 on VHS.
Oh, nice.
So I watched there. And then, like, much like Luffy, we had a video shop not too far from our house. And my dad was actually pretty cool. He let me get whatever I want when we got there. So that basically, so I kind of credit my dad for making me the horror fan that I am today, because he was just cool and let me get whatever I wanted out. So from then it just grew, and I just became fascinated with every type of practical effect, every type of monster I could see. And I just wanted more, and I still want more to this day. So,
well, that's why you have a horror podcast, right?
Exactly.
And we'll get into that. So I guess we'll go with Daniel first. How did you get into podcasting, Daniel?
I don't know. I've been listening to podcasts for a long time. I was a big fan of like Kevin Smith and stuff, so the Smodcast and shit like that. And then we had a now defunct network that, you know, got around to a good 20-30 people an episode, so that was fun.
Like listeners or people on the episode?
Just listeners.
Nice.
But yeah, we just did like general pop culture stuff. We had like a video game show and like movie show and all that kind of shit, but it was just, you know, practice basically.
Yeah, totally.
What it felt like. But yeah, we were just doing it for fun. And then and then when Tim ran out of co-hosts, I jumped on, just attached myself to his bandwagon.
That's awesome. Did he like ask you to be his co-host, like ask you to the prom kind of thing, or was it just like, hey mate, you want to get a Foster and join my podcast?
Oh shit, Tim, hi.
Tim loves Fosters, and he loves when people call him mate. It's his fave. Right, Tim?
Yeah.
He's like, I fucking hate you and all your choices in film.
That's what I'm all about.
Get some Tim Hortons.
Get out of here.
And you wonder, and Heather, you wonder why I'm the one that gets mentioned on the show all the time.
Because you're Scott Crawford. That's why you're the Smoke Show. So did he approach you, Daniel, or did you approach him? Like, was it kind of mutual?
I think we were just chatting about like movies or something, and he was just telling me, because I was a fan of his show before I jumped on. I think I guested on a couple as well previously, right? Yeah. And so when he was talking about Joel not really wanting to do it full time anymore and kind of stepping back from it a bit, and he was thinking about doing it by himself, I think I suggested, or we just came to it sort of like, maybe I should just jump on and see how we go.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, it was a great fit because you guys are awesome together. You truly are. As joking as I tease both of you, it's just because I'm super jelly, because you are really awesome and you deserve your place on that list. I was so proud when I saw you guys on that list. You truly do deserve it. Yeah, like that's pretty cool. It's an accomplishment, right? It's nice to know that people listen to you and you're acknowledged, right? So Tim, I feel like you've been doing podcasting a long time. You probably have a lot to share. So how did you get into it?
Okay, we'll start from the start. So I think it was back in about the start of 2016 where I got really back heavily into horror movies. It's when I started, 2015, sorry. I started listening to horror podcasts.
Not great with numbers.
And thanks, I can't read also apparently. Yeah, I started listening to horror podcasts.
Okay, champion.
Horror podcasts. Shut up, dick.
I'll let you have your time. Sorry. Continue.
I started listening to horror podcasts back in like 2015 and finding all these new movies that people were recommending to me. And from there, I just wanted to watch more. So for me to do that, I decided that I'd start writing reviews on Facebook, and I came up with my own Facebook page called What's Under the Bed Reviews.
Oh, that's cool.
And
I remember.
yeah, I was doing that for a while. They were never that great. They were just fucking dumb written reviews, but it was a reason for me to watch movies. And I had people recommend films that I should watch and have they'd want my thoughts on them. So I thought that was cool. And I became really close friends with a podcast called the Padded Room Podcast with Derry and Brock. And like really close,
James.
yeah, Buddy and Monica as well.
Very nice.
And Buddy, who's James, is just
Buddy.
like God's
buddy
gift
guy.
to women.
Yeah, is he looking for more friends? Just wondering.
I mean, he probably won't say no. So
hey, shoot your shot, right? Shoot your shot.
But I became really close friends with them. I still write to their show every week. I'm still very close to them. And I just messaged Darian, who's the host, and said, hey, man, I'm thinking about starting my own podcast because they just made it look like so much fun. And he said, he gave me all these tips and tricks on how to start it. And he goes, listen, if you want, we can put you on our RSS feed, which means you don't have to pay anything, but you put your shows out in our feed and hopefully we'll grow an audience together. So I thought, fuck, that's heaps cool. So I started doing that. We started off with my original co-host. His name was Ben. And it was cool, but it got to a point where he just couldn't commit to the time.
Yeah.
So he basically just left. And then I was doing it a little bit by myself, but I never thought I was that great. So I got my wife to jump in and she was kind of the same thing. She enjoyed it, but at the same time, it wasn't really her thing. So she eventually left. She just said, look, this isn't really my thing, so I'm just not going to do it.
Tim, I got all these fucking kids I got to take care of. I don't have time for this shit, right?
Yeah. And then,
Stop breathing me. I can't have any more litters, Tim. Oh, did he freeze? Oh.
No. But at that point there in my podcasting career, me and the Mushroom there were doing another show. Me and him were doing another show called Bordy and the Wolf Radio, which was where we review music. And then that kind of got boring, and we decided just to cancel that. And then I said, I jumped on to him and I said, hey, do you want to join Horror for Dummies? And that's it. That's the rest of history.
You auto-tuned a little bit there, but we still got it. And so you and Daniel have been working together for what, 2.5 years? About?
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Awesome.
That sounds right.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys are just so much fun. And I love, there's certain signatures about your show that you always do. You always start it the same way. You have different names for Daniel, and then you have your segments. And I absolutely love the spoiler alert. Like, spoiler alert, oh yeah, because it's the beat to Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? And I just think that is
I totally
so
also know about this.
Daniel and the banter back and forth where I'm constantly laughing at shit Daniel says. So this episode will just be me laughing when Daniel makes a joke because it's really funny, and your response to it is just awesome. So I think whatever you're doing is working, and keep doing it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Totally.
You're welcome. You auto-tuned so bad, but we know what you said was thank you very much. Heather, you're a better host than Scott is.
Oh,
so I appreciate somebody
Tim
finally
picking sides already.
Well, you know what? I'm the one that's saying all the nice things. Scott hasn't said one nice thing yet, right?
Oh, well, that's because you always started off saying everything. You always are the one that starts off like saying all the nice things, and I just kind of ride your coattails afterwards.
I know, and then Scott's like, "Me too. I think he's nice too. I think Horror for Dummies is good too."
Well, I only listen to probably like a handful of like podcasts regularly, and Horror for Dummies and Wrestling for Dummies are 2 of the 5 that are like complete rotation because I just love.
Oh yeah, like automatic downloads as soon as it comes up, right? And there's so many times where you guys are talking and I want to jump in with you, and it just kind of breaks my heart that we live in these time zones that suck so badly that we can't do this more often. That's the only thing I wish was different, is that we had a better time zone connection instead of having to like one of us lose sleep so that we can actually podcast together. But
just better internet connections in general sometimes.
Oh damn, shots fired.
That's not very nice, Daniel. We're all friends here, Daniel.
This is a safe space.
Poor Tim.
Oh,
Tim,
not really.
it's okay. We see your finger
Good
though.
idea.
Tim gave Daniel the finger, and that's good. We know that he's here in spirit. So we'll lead in. We'll let these guys definitely promo all their shows at the end and let you guys know where you can find them.
Oh,
Especially the powder. Sorry, what were you going to say, Daniel?
I said Bag's Not.
What did you say? Back smart? What was that?
No, Bag's Not. It means Tim
Bag's
can
Not?
do it.
Oh, okay. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's fine.
I was
I love it.
super confused.
Too Australian for you.
Yeah, like, can you turn down the Aussie? Okay, like,
Please
fuck's
don't
sakes,
do that.
dude.
No, don't listen to her.
Like,
Turn that shit up.
all right, I do use, like, on this show, by the way, before you guys came on, I said we were working with our cunts, and you guys are the only people we can actually say that to.
Yeah, we know it's endearing.
Viewer discretion advised in this episode for what I just said and what we're probably going to say as it goes through. So, Scott, why don't you introduce our topic? And I'm just going to keep laughing at shit Daniel says.
All right.
And then we'll go from there.
All right, it sounds good. So yeah, like we've been doing, this is another top 5 list, and we had Tim and Daniel pick the topic for the top 5, and they chose horror comedies. And so yeah, this one is this is one of those top 5 lists where I could pretty much like have a top 20 that I could make my top 5. Just like it's just so vast, that many choices.
I'm here.
Yeah, it was so fucking tough. But
That's why I got on it early. Just got it out of the way.
yeah, I'm sure you did.
Daniel spent weeks preparing this list for sure.
Totally not scribbled down on a tiny piece of paper from work.
No, not at all. No.
But most people know how we do this. We're gonna go round robin. Like I'll do my number 5s, and then I'll do this where it's me, Daniel, Heather, then Tim. That way we just kind of break up.
We're gonna do Tim at the last. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then so yeah, we'll just do our top 5s and then go around, and then we'll give our honorable mentions at the end, like we always do. Because I have a feeling we're gonna have a nice variety.
Yeah, Tim's list is gonna be completely different from mine and Scott's.
Well, I'll say
mine is Happy Death Day, every movie.
Yuck.
That's the same as my list.
That's a horrible list.
It's a fine list.
Scott's a peacekeeper. He's like, it's okay, everyone.
It's okay. But I will start with my number 5, and I'm going for one that is extremely low budget that I randomly found at the video store when I used to buy like DVDs all the time. And I've never heard anyone talk about it. And this one is called She Kills from 2016, also known as She Kills with Her Pussy. But this is an homage to old school grindhouse exploitation pictures of the 1970s. I can't do this movie justice without reading the synopsis. So here goes the synopsis. Be prepared to just scratch your head. All right. So Sadie's life is destroyed when a vicious gang called the Touchers targets her for their sadistic fantasies after witnessing her sexy but innocent naked body frolicking in a nearby field. On her wedding night, they attack her and her husband, Edward, brutalizing both of them. But during the attack, the virgin bride discovers a dangerous secret about her body. She is cursed with the legendary fire crotch, a condition where Satan has laid claim to her vagina. After visiting her fortune teller friend, Casparella, a space exorcism is attempted on her meat flaps, but it only ends up unlocking secret hidden powers inside her. Her hatchet wound becomes lethal, her most deadly weapon in her thirst for revenge against the Touchers and her fight against lustful men everywhere.
Okay, are you sure this wasn't something you watched on Pornhub?
I thought it was when I read the description the first time. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Okay, I gotta watch it. It is super low budget. And
it sounds super low budget.
And it is the most ridiculous. And it is the most
Daniel's like my number 1 fucking pick. That's what I'm watching after we finish this right now.
Just taking notes.
I have to say with this film, I went into it going, okay, this is gonna be some like hardcore, like just hard to watch film.
He took off his pants. He got real ready for this.
I had a raging Scott Crawford the whole time.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I went into this thinking it was just gonna be something difficult to watch, and no, they like while it's a kind of a touchy subject, they do like poke fun and just make fun of this genre, and then it gets ridiculous, and it is the most stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen. But I was in tears laughing. I haven't laughed this hard since I was like blown out of my mind smoking weed when I was in high school, like just straight up giggle fits. And
Hell
this
yeah.
movie just did that. It was ridiculous. And there's even a scene with some kung fu master and another ninja that decide to fight with a cat and dog, and they stretch the cat and dog out and start using them as nunchucks.
Ridiculous.
What the fuck?
Ridiculous.
Is
Oh,
it like
it is-
Velocipasta type levels of?
Yes. Or maybe
Oh.
even worse. Maybe even
Yeah.
worse.
Fuck yeah.
But it is some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen. But I had to bring this to the table because, like I said, no one's ever talked about it. And I lost my mind when I watched this. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I did not see that
Yeah.
coming, Scott, on your list. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, this
It was
is
a
something
shock.
that has to be seen to be believed.
Yeah, it will be.
Danny's like, I'm gonna put it on right now.
Yeah.
My new number one movie that's horror comedy is.
So yeah, Daniel, what is your number 5?
Cool. My number 5 is What We Do in the Shadows.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, just I didn't know we had to do like a little synopsis and shit, but it's basically like a vampire mockumentary done by Taika Waititi, who I don't need to explain who he is anymore because it's fucking Taika Waititi.
Yep.
And he hasn't just done Flight of the Conchords, he's done other shit now too, like
And-
a few little movies.
And the writing in this is fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's fantastic. It's gorier than you'd think, but hilariously so. All the characters are great. It's just got his kind of stamp of like humor, and Jermaine Clement's kind of like just all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Just a fantastic fucking vampire mockumentary movie, man. It's just makes me laugh so much. And I do what like it's just on there because I was randomly like scrolling through one of the streaming services here and it was just on, and I was like, yeah, I'll fucking watch this for like the 30th time. And I was like, oh shit, I'm doing like a list about this shit. Maybe I should throw that on there.
Well, and it's funny to watch over and over again, right? Like
Yeah,
there's
it's
certain
great,
things like
'cause
when they kill the people that come to the house. It's so funny, right?
Like,
it's
it's
funny.
like putting down. I don't want to do. I'm trying to not do that shit where you just say what fucking happened in the movie. But yeah, where he's like laying down like the newspaper and stuff because they built
Too
every
funny.
joke earlier in the movie. Like,
Yeah.
it's just such a well crafted comedy, and I think it's one of those comedy horrors where it's like it's definitely comedy first,
Yep.
and then horror, but it's still got a lot of the classic kind of horror elements and stuff to it too, where it tries to be freaky and tries to fuck with you a little bit, and yeah, it's just it's a really fucking good time.
And
That's a good choice.
I have to say, this will tell you how much I love this movie. This was actually my number 1, so it's going to be taken out and put in one of my honorable mentions will be coming in now. I fucking love this
Nice.
movie. Greatest horror comedy ever for me.
That's awesome.
It's hard to beat for sure. Absolutely. My number 5 is actually a 2021 that came out this year that Tim Davis probably hates.
I know what it is.
I can't wait to say it because Tim's going to be like, "Oh, I didn't like that movie. I just didn't get into it." Tim and I don't like anything.
Well, that movie's
that's similar.
fucked.
Actually,
Go
we
on.
did like Army of the Dead. I think that was one that we both enjoyed this year. There we
Wait,
go.
I know the movie you're going to talk about. And yes, if it is the one I'm thinking about, you're right. I didn't like it.
Okay, hold on. It's Werewolves Within.
Oh,
Okay, not the movie I was thinking of, but
Oh, did you like it?
yeah, it was decent.
He's like,
didn't
it was a
it.
big piece of
Don't be
shit.
fucking
Um,
nice.
No.
I very much enjoyed this film. I didn't know it was based on a video game, which I
Yep.
thought was hilarious after we watched it. So I can't remember if I watched it first or Scotty watched it first.
I watched it and then I recommended it to you and Brandon.
Okay. And I just thought the comedy in it just hits for me. So if you like some political satire and just like ridiculous over the top characters, like the over the top rich white lady and the over the top politician and the over the top like millennial chick, then you will enjoy this film. It is very much a movie of stereotypes that are just, pumped into, steroids are pumped into them and they're kind of presented, and it's kind of a little bit of a murder mystery. I think it was one of the better horror comedies to come out this year. It's available on Netflix in North America. I don't know if it's available anywhere in Australia. Is it available
Find out.
anywhere?
Was it Werewolves Within?
Yeah,
I mean, you can find it, but
illegal ways, but it's not on a streaming service, right?
no.
You can buy it. You can buy it pretty much everywhere here, but you can't stream it.
You can't stream it. So I don't know if I recommend people to buy it. I do think it's something that you got to watch first and see if it is your sense of humor and your cup of tea. Or
You can rent it.
Foster's beer. I guess you could rent it first too. That's right. All of us are so cheap now. We're like, but I pay for Prime and I pay for Shudder.
Yeah.
Renting.
Ooh, that's ridiculous.
Renting is
You
below
could.
me.
Or you
And
can
I
acquire it otherwise.
you could be a pirate. But I really enjoy the police officer in this and his kind of like goody two shoe attitude that he has and over the top. I don't know, Scotty. I know you've seen it. What did you think?
I thought this was a freaking hilarious film. Like that's why when I watched it, I was like, oh, Heather will love this. And I'm not sure on Brandon, but I'm gonna recommend it to him as well. And yeah, I love the fact that this is actually one of the better video game movies to have been made because it's based off of the virtual reality game Werewolves Within. That's what it's called, right? Yeah.
It's a Ubisoft game, I think.
Yeah, yep, Ubisoft game where it's just like sitting around trying to figure out who's the werewolf type thing.
Yeah,
and,
basically, which is what the movie is, right?
Yeah, and yeah, it had just like a good cast of like B style actors that you see like to play like the B side style characters in TV shows and shit like that. So it had a lot of
Comedians
recognizable
and
faces.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very very entertaining. I had a blast with this film.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I saw it too, and I'll agree it was fun. It was enjoyable. The only problem I had with it is I kind of wanted more werewolf.
Yes,
That is fair. There is not a lot of werewolf. There's very limited werewolf in this film. For Werewolf Within, it's all about it being within, not outwards.
I'll admit I did not see the twist.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure some people will say that they did, but for me, it caught me off guard.
All right, Tim.
Well, I'm gonna watch it.
I didn't see the twist either. I didn't see it either.
Good.
All three of us, Daniel had seen it. He'll be like, "Oh, I saw the twist coming, guys." By the way,
No,
you guys are just.
I probably don't.
So Tim, what is your number 5?
All right. Okay. So before I start my number 5, I must say that all the movies I picked are all comedy first and then horror. So there'll be no Scream. There'll be no American Werewolf in London. No movies like that. So for my number 5 pick, I picked a movie that I don't know if it is a comedy horror, but it's a movie that fucking makes me laugh so much. And I don't think the makers intended it that way. But my number 5 is Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! It's a great
because of obvious reasons. So, okay, here's the thing about Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. If you haven't seen this movie, actually, let me start by saying, if you haven't seen Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 1, don't watch it. You can just watch this one.
You're right.
Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 basically is, for the most part, a recap of the first film. And then for the last quarter, it just has new scenes added, which if you haven't seen the scenes that I'm talking about on YouTube, you've been living under a rock. Let me just say...
Garbage day.
Exactly. This movie, I cannot not watch it. Around Christmas time, this is a movie, and it's not really a Christmas movie. I mean, the first one is, but the rest of this film, not really. But it's everything. It's realistically, it's the acting in this movie. The guy that plays, I think it's Ricky.
Yep.
The way he moves his eyebrows. Let's play a drinking game of take a shot every time he moves his eyebrows. You will die.
Oh my god! Yeah, you would be dead.
Swift death.
Best eyebrow acting in any film ever.
Right? It's oh man. And like I've listened to like interviews with this guy, and he knows how bad. Apparently, his son like has friends around, and they watch this, and his dad's proud of it. He's like, you know what? It is bad, but I'll embrace it, and I love that. I think that's cool. So Silent Night, Deadly Night, it's a movie that I cannot laugh at. I
Not laugh at. There you go.
Not laugh. Yeah. I piss myself every time I watch this movie. So
well, you have your own
go and check
continence
out-
issues, but yeah.
Oh my god!
go and check out Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2.
Poor Tim. He's like, I haven't drank enough for this shit, Daniel. I love.
I can see how he copes now.
We just covered this in another podcast I was on. We watched all 5 Silent Night, Deadly Nights, which let me tell you,
I'm sorry,
was an adventure. But there's a part where he's like, "Yeah, Doc, my family couldn't afford to send me to school, so I had to get a job." I'm like, why is everything this guy says highlighted with anger? Like it was just constantly angry throughout the entire film. And I also thought it was hilarious. So I'm so glad you brought it to the table because it is really funny.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those unintentional comedies I'm hoping, because good Lord. But this movie it's one of those where I hate it and love it at the same time, because I say I hate it for the fact that it is lazy because it's a clip show. But
Yeah.
then the parts with Ricky, it's like I can't help but like just not enjoy like how bad this is and entertaining it is at the same time.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like surely the makers knew that this was a bad performance.
Right. They had to.
Yeah.
In all fairness, it's based off a series of a killer Santa from a fucked up orphanage, you know, like, and then the series gets real bad. Like 4 is something else. So, you know, comparably 2 isn't that bad because it at least has good comedy to it. Like in the movie theater, there's a scene where he like something happens to another patron, and I'm like, you know, I fantasized about doing that. To someone in the movie, they're like, I think we've all been there. And we're like, motherfucker, I wish I could just kill you right now and get away with it. And you don't, because I would die in jail unless I became someone's bitch. That's the only way I would I would have to eat a lot of box, Tim. I'd be eating a lot of box to survive in jail. So, you know.
Ooh, tongue splints.
Oh man, my tongue would be so exhausted. I would have to ice it every night. It would be exhausting.
Oh my God.
Like, oh man, this sounds really hot, Heather. Keep going. Talk more about you being in jail. But yeah, I think it's a funny movie. I'm really, as I said, I'm glad you brought it. And it's Christmas time. So what a perfect comedy to bring in, right?
I'm really glad that I spoke about that movie because hearing you about eating box just made my night. Oh, I'm going to have a good night tonight.
Now you really have a Scott Crawford.
You're the best. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad we're doing this. All right, Scott. What's your number 4?
All right. My number 4 is probably another one that no one will really expect. And that is from the awesome team that is Astron 6, who did The Editor and many other awesome films like Manborg. There's one that they got...
Manborg.
There's one that got picked up by Troma, though, that got them really on the map. And that movie is called Father's Day from 2011. And once again, this is just one of those, I have to read the synopsis. Ahab, a man obsessed with exacting a brutal, violent revenge on the man who murdered his dad, joins John, an eager priest, and Twink, a hot-headed street hustler, on an epic quest to find and defeat this mythical monster known as Chris Fuckman, aka the Father's Day Killer. And this is, if you know Astron 6, they are masters of doing the homage to the older style films. Once again, this is another homage to like the 70s style exploitation. But if you've seen The Editor, you know that they know how to like add in just ridiculous comedy, just make like just basically just the dialogue is brilliant. And they have a love for this types of genres, and they show their special effects, even though they are true low budget Canadian directors as well. So another bonus right there. But I just love a lot of this dialogue in this film. It is funny. The shit that they go through is ridiculous. And has one of the more darker endings I've seen in a film, like for being a horror comedy. But this, I can see why Lloyd Kaufman wanted to pick this movie up and add it to the Troma library, because this movie is just so over the top ridiculous and fits Troma in so many ways. Have either any of you guys seen this one?
I haven't seen it.
No,
I haven't either.
Now we all got to go watch it and come back and record the rest of the show. See you guys in a couple hours. Tim will be trash. Daniel will be like playing video games.
Yeah,
it'll be great.
There's one line I have to say though that I love. Like the main character Ahab, he is living out in the middle of the wilderness in Canada, and he's got like one of those spouts knocked into a tree to make maple syrup.
Fuck's sakes.
And he's pouring it, and they're like, one of the guys that come to visit him going, "That's weird. That's not a maple tree." And the guy and Ahab looks at him and goes, "What the fuck have I been making then?"
Oh my God. I feel like I have to see this movie now though, Scott.
You do. It's so ridiculous. Like, I know you loved The Editor. This one's a little more...
I did love The Editor.
This one's a bit darker because it's just the content, but it's still like, oh my God, some of the shit in this is just like over the top ridiculous. And these guys just know comedy.
A good recommendation.
Nice.
I think we have someone else though who might have something we've seen, hopefully.
Me?
Yeah, Daniel, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Return of the Living Dead.
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
From,
And why is it your
what's it
number
from?
4?
I think
is it 88? 88?
Is 85
Yes.
apparently
85. Okay.
on IMDb. I don't know.
I was probably right. I had no fucking idea. I pulled 88 out of my ass, so that's probably the correct one.
It's fucking some point in the 80s. It's very
Some point.
very
Sometime in
80s
the
movie.
80s, everyone's like, "Boo."
Yeah, I think it's my fucking favorite zombie movie for sure. Like, it's just completely silly. Like, I love all the fucking 80s punks.
Oh yeah,
they're just
for
so
sure.
good. The characters are just so dumb. Like, and it's just got those talking zombies and stuff, and the send more paramedics bit, and it's just great. There's like tits and gore and like, I don't know, it's just everything you want in a fucking
What
zombie
more
movie.
could you want in a zombie
it.
movie? And if you love zombie movies and you love the 80s, it's like the perfect sandwich.
Yeah, like
Right?
I've seen it
I like
so
sandwiches.
many fucking times. Yeah, look at you. But like,
Do you like a Vegemite sandwich?
You're right.
Is that what you like? Tim?
No,
Hey,
it's all about crunchy peanut butter.
crunchy or smooth?
Oh my
Crunchy.
god.
I'm crunchy. I'm crunchy too.
Is that how we got into like crunchy peanut butter off of the movie? But Return of the Dead is an excellent comedy. And Scott, you've seen it. You obviously dig it.
Oh fuck yeah! It's my traditional July 3rd watch every year, just because it happens on July 3rd. And
Oh shit!
yeah,
Nice.
and yeah, just an instant classic, and one of the horror films from the back in the day that actually scared the shit out of me when I was a kid, thanks to Tarman.
Yeah, Tarman's fucked up.
Yeah, that when I watched that when I was like, I'd say I was probably about 7 years old, and I was watching it with my brother, and when he just looks up and goes, "More brains," I'm going, "Oh fuck!"
Oh my god, poor little bit of Scotty. So Tim's smoking and drinking right now, looking like a fucking boss. But Tim, do you like this movie?
I mean, who doesn't like this movie? It's if we were doing like a top 5 zombie films, this would probably be on my list.
Nice. That's
Oh,
all.
for
You dig
sure.
it that much. That's cool. Well,
Right.
finally, we found a common ground for all four of us. Isn't that nice? It only took 2 years to get
Bringing
there,
you
but
guys together.
here we are
Yay.
today. My number 4 is a little bit more modern. I actually had a really hard time with this list, and honestly, I kind of was just I went with my gut because I thought of something I watched recently that I did find funny, and that was The Final Girls from 2015.
Nice.
I really enjoyed how they made fun of slashers in this film. Like, it's just that over the top dude who's like the tube top all the time, and I forget which actor plays him. What's he from, Scotty?
He's from
Ad-
Pitch Perfect and
Adam
Workaholics.
Devine.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, sick.
Oh my god! And
Oh,
just
he's
the
in it.
shit he says. Oh, it's funny. And how they get stuck in the time loop, and just how they're basically like, is it breaking the fourth wall? Is that what we call it?
Yeah.
Right. And it's just so fucking funny. And it's a great modern take on making fun of slashers that I think slasher fans won't get mad about, because it's kind of like, ha 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 ha, nudge nudge. If you get it, you get it. And I think that's really clever when you include people in on the joke and you're not making fun of them, you're laughing with them. And I think this film does a great job. Obviously, you all dig it. You all kind
Yeah.
of
Hell yeah.
acknowledged it. So,
Yeah, this is
I haven't seen it.
oh, you got to see this one, Daniel.
yeah.
But
I'll write it on the list.
Format of the show, yeah.
yeah, this movie is a great comedy, a great slasher, and a great coming of age, like heartfelt
Yes.
story at the same
Yeah,
time. It's like
it has
Yeah.
heart.
incredible.
Yeah, it's a
I
feeler.
think I teared up at a point in this movie. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
Aw.
That part at the end, I'm like, oh damn it.
Right?
But you get attached with kids stuff. You're very much, you love your children very much. And I
Yeah,
think
sometimes.
anytime you, once in a while, when they're not being little dicks and
Yeah.
bitches, but you definitely are a good dad, Tim. And I've always heard you talk about how that always hits you in the feels. And then Daniel makes fun of you for it. But I think it's sweet. I think it's sweet.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so Tim,
Alright.
what's your number 4?
Yeah, Tim.
My number 4. Okay. I'll be surprised if anyone else has this on their list, but I'm coming in with probably the
You don't know
oldest movie. Yes, I do. You probably know this. Oh no, you have seen this movie, but whoever.
Ah,
I'm coming in to a year in 1948
gross.
with a movie called Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great one.
So I'm a big fan of the Universal monsters, and the first time I saw this, I honestly didn't think I would enjoy it because I don't know, I just didn't think their comedy back then would hit me now. But damn, was I wrong. This movie, like just the first 10 minutes, I was in hysterics. I was laughing so hard. For those who don't know, the story is the Wolfman tries to warn a dim-witted porter that Dracula wants his brain for Frankenstein's monster's body. And this is, I think, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the first films that had some of the Universal monsters come together in a collective film.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And Abbott and Costello, I'll be real, I haven't seen, I don't think any other Abbott and Costello films, but this one just, I was in stitches. This is one of the funniest films I've ever seen. It's great. You've got the original, like, Bela Lugosi coming back as Dracula, Lon Chaney coming back as Lawrence Talbot, aka the Wolfman, and you got Glenn Strange being the monster, who of course is not my favorite because Boris Karloff, but he does a really good job as Frankenstein's monster in this. This is just great. If you haven't seen Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, I highly suggest it. Don't go in thinking, oh, it's old, I'm not going to enjoy it, because that's what I thought, and it's my number 4 on the list. So go and do it. Go check it out.
What a classic to bring. I love this movie. I watched this as a little kid, and I loved it. And it stuck with me still to today. It's a classic. I'm so glad you brought it up.
Confession time. I have never seen it.
Off the fucking show.
I've also never seen it.
Oh, that's okay, Daniel. You're becoming a horror fan. Mr. Smokeshow over here acts like he's seen every fucking horror movie in the entire planet. Look, Scotty, you have seen something. I've seen something that you haven't. No, Scott, you would like it. Check it out. It's actually for a Universal monster film. You would actually dig it.
Well, I do love the Universal monster stuff that I've seen, and this is one that I've always wanted to see.
Yeah, you'll like it because I know sometimes like both you and I are hit and miss on some of that stuff.
Yeah,
you'll like this one.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out. So yeah, what are we at? Number 3.
Number 3, baby.
All right, now I'm going with one that I know people have heard of and maybe on someone's list. We'll see. But that is, I got to look up the date, but it is an Edgar Wright film. And of course, it has Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. And it is Shaun of the Dead from 2004.
I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
No. This movie just hits every fucking note for me when it comes to comedy horror. Not only, once again, is it a love letter to the Romero zombie films, like done perfectly. It has that just fantastic British humor and dialogue that Edgar Wright and all them are known for. And it's also, once again, a film that has a lot of heart that actually kind of hits you in the feels with some of the scenes that it has. Like it's a legit, just like good movie on top of being comedic and horror at the same time. And I mean, it's one of my favorite horror comedies. That's why it's on this list. And I had to bring it because I watch this constantly and I fucking love this movie to death.
I was talking to someone this week and I made a quote of like, we'll just go to the pub and wait for this whole thing to blow over. Like, that's classic, right? You can say that to a lot of people and they get it. My other favorite line in this is when they're throwing the records and they throw the Dire Straits record. Because confession, I actually really like Dire Straits. So I thought that scene was hilarious. I'm assuming both Daniel and Tim, you guys have seen this film.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean,
so many times.
This was on my honorable mentions list. If we're talking real list, this would be on my favorite horror comedies, but I took it off because I knew someone was going to bring it to the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I swapped this for Return.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think this is a movie that even if you're not a horror fan, it's one of the movies you have to see before you die.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
And it's just a good, solid comedy. Like it stands the test of time. It's still funny. And I did enjoy during the pandemic when they did that cheesy little thing about not going to the pub. I'm one of those people that I'm like, oh, this is cute.
Oh, yes.
Like,
that was hilarious.
Right. Like it was a little cheesy, but it was cute. And I think that the movie, I agree. I think anyone, even if you're not a horror fan, you can enjoy it because it has enough horror for fans to like it, but not too much that if you have someone that's really turned off from it, they won't watch it. So great pick, Scotty.
Well, thank you. And
I think it's one of those movies. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Dan.
It's just one of those movies where it's like the way Edgar Wright directs and puts things together, because he telegraphs so much stuff, it's like instantly rewatchable.
Yes.
It basically shows you the whole movie, and he does this all the time in like the first act.
Yeah.
It tells you exactly what's going to happen if you know what you're looking for and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's really good. Like, so you can watch it multiple times and you just keep picking up stuff.
Yeah.
And once again, this is like showing his editing style and his editing chops with like the whole "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen being played on the jukebox and they're beating the zombie to the beat.
Man,
oh my
so
god.
funny.
Like his love of using music and like things that are happening in the film together is just like this is pretty much where it started. Obviously, this whole movie started from the TV series Spaced off of one episode that they had back then, which if you haven't seen Spaced and you do love Shaun of the Dead and all that, fucking watch that shit because it is hilarious.
So good.
Yeah, like, and he wasn't, they got inspired to do this movie based off of one, like, small clip in the beginning of one of the episodes. And you can tell, like, right from that, it's like, oh, yeah, this is where they got the Shaun of the Dead idea. And it's, love it.
Awesome.
What is your number 3, Daniel? Or, yeah, it's number 3. Yeah, number 3.
3? Are we up to me again?
Yep.
Oh, oops, I actually doubled up on directors. That's okay. It doesn't matter. I picked from 1996, Year of Our Lord, The Frighteners.
Nice.
Wow, cool.
One that was on my list.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so it's a Peter Jackson movie, apparently. Didn't realize that.
Sure is.
Fine. But yeah, it's Michael J. Fox. It's kind of like, it's got a really strong kind of like emotional through line, which I really enjoy. And it's just, he can kind of see ghosts and spirits and stuff. So he kind of helps them move on. And there's like this demonic spirit that's kind of chasing him the whole time. But it's just like, the ghosts are really funny. Like, it's just got a lot of that like kind of slapsticky horror that Peter Jackson does. And yeah, I think I just remember watching it like on TV back in the day and just loving it. And then I've watched it so many times since then. Actually, I'm due for a rewatch for sure. But
Such
yeah,
a good
just
movie.
a good solid movie. And it like I feel it's really underrated.
I agree. I think it's really funny. I showed it to a group of teenagers in a job I had years ago, and they had never seen it. And they were like, oh shit, this is funny. I'm like, I know, it's funny, right? I think a lot of people think, oh, it's Michael J. Fox, or just they look at, the cheesy kind of ghosts that are in it, and they don't realize how, comical it is.
Yeah, and it's also got good old Jeffrey Combs playing the crazy ass FBI agent.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Jeffrey Combs is in it.
Oh,
Tim's
I love
being
that
quiet.
Man.
Tim probably doesn't like the Frighteners. Tim, do you not like the Frighteners?
I've seen it, but it's been based, I think, probably since 1996 since I've seen it. So I can't really chime in.
Were you born in 1996?
Not that young.
How old are you? How old are you again?
I'm 34.
Oh, yeah, you're not that young. I don't know why I think you're so much younger. You just look so young, Tim. That's why.
Thank you.
You look like a spring chicken.
It's the Australian weather.
It must be. It must be.
Yeah.
So it's been a while, so you don't remember it, is basically what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm definitely due for a rewatch. I do remember liking it, but I honestly couldn't tell you anything about it.
That's fair. It happens.
Well,
we watch a lot of movies.
Well, maybe this should be the reverse horror for dummies, and Daniel teaches you something.
Oh, the dummy has become the teacher.
I can't take hosting duties. I'm Garbo.
No, Daniel just makes jokes throughout it and tries to distract Tim, so Tim loses track of his thoughts.
He's right. He really is garbage.
I love Tim with the real talk. I love it. I guess I'll come in with my number 3 before these two get divorced, and then I don't know what's gonna happen though for dummies. So you can always listen to Friday Nightmares, so it's fine.
Guys, if you get divorced, I just want 2 Christmases
and 2 birthdays. And 2
birthdays.
Right. My number 3 is a movie that was my first time watch this year, and like I couldn't stop talking about it to Scott for a really long time, and that was Club Dread 2000.
Okay.
Oh fuck yeah! I forgot all about this one.
Holy fuck! The guy with the dreads, like him alone. And like just the whole slasher concept that they're at this club. And my favorite part is where I can't remember the character, but he's playing a song about like daiquiris, and they're like, oh yeah, play Margaritaville. He's like, no, you mean play Yummy Daiquiri or something like that. Like, it's just so funny. And I had skipped over it because I'm like, I'm not gonna like this, it's gonna be too dumb. No, it was perfect dumb for me, and it totally like clicked all my boxes, or checked off all my boxes. What about you guys? You guys like it?
I love this film, man. Oh man, okay.
Oh, so Daniel, you gotta watch it.
This comes from the guys from Broken Lizard who did Super Troopers.
Yeah. I saw it was like Jay, and I was like, shit, this is Broken Lizard movie I haven't fucking seen.
Yep.
I think I'm the only person in the world that really liked Super Troopers 2, because everyone seemed to shit on that film. I love these guys. I honestly forgot about Club Dread. Otherwise, it probably would have been on my list too. This is great from start to finish.
Yeah, that's freaking hilarious. I haven't watched it in a while, but I have to say, Heather, when you said I couldn't
know
stop
what you thought I was going to say.
Yeah, you caught me off guard, and I completely forgot that. Yeah, you were talking about this movie a lot after you watched it.
That movie's so fucking funny. Shit, it's so great. I want to go watch it right now. It's so fucking funny. So
it is one of those movies that you can just throw on at any time and just have a great time.
It really is, right? And it's just the guy with the dreads, like, and he's always looking at him and shit. Oh my god. Anyway, Tim, what is your number 3?
All right, so my number 3, I'm coming in with a sequel. Most people would probably have the first one in their top one, but I'm coming in with the sequel of Dead Snow. Dead Snow 2, Red versus Dead. And if you know what Dead Snow 1 is, Dead Snow's just a continuation. Dead Snow 2, sorry, is just a continuation. Basically, it's Nazi zombies. So the story is, still on the run from a group of Nazi zombies, a man seeks the aid of a group of American zombie enthusiasts and discovers new techniques for fighting the zombies. This one is just full-blown gore fest with some of the best jokes ever. It's I can't remember what country it comes from, but it's somewhere in Europe. I think.
Oh yeah, I can't remember. Is it Norwegian?
Something. Oh yeah, I honestly.
Norwegian people come up with cool shit.
I think you're right. It's Norwegian.
Yeah.
There we go. But yes, this features zombie Hitler in it, and some of the jokes in it just. It's if you're easily offended, then don't watch this film. But yes. I loved it from start to finish. It's fucking hilarious. There is a lot, like there's babies being killed. So if you, once again, easily offended, don't watch this. But I love all that type of humor. So this one really worked for me. The gore is
dead babies.
Tim loves them dead babies.
The gore is just crazy. The story is just fun. The pacing's great. Like, you will never get bored watching this movie, and it's ridiculous, I will say that, so don't take it seriously. I mean, who takes comedy horror seriously? But this one is
some
just
people.
Well, it's zombie Nazis, like, in all fairness, check the, like, know what you're walking into, right? Like,
yeah, exactly,
right?
Exactly. This is a movie, like, when I started watching horror films, like when I started listening to podcasts, this one was brought to my attention, and I watched it and I could not stop watching it. It's like another one that was mentioned that will probably be mentioned again later, but I could not put it down. I kept watching it because I think it was on Netflix at one point, which has been taken off now, but yeah, it was always on. I love this film. It's fucking hilarious. It's great. Over the top gore, and it's everything that I like. So Dead Snow 2, Red versus Dead is my number 3.
Awesome choice, Tim. Love it.
That is excellent.
I haven't seen either. I want to.
Oh yeah, I thought you would love Nazis, Daniel.
Put it on the list.
Man, his list is so long now. He's gonna no longer be the dummy.
It's a huge list.
It's a big list.
It's almost as huge as that Scott Crawford he's carrying right now.
So huge.
But all right, so it'll be my number 2, and I think Daniel kind of hinted at a movie that was on my list, so I'm going to take it off because I know him and I have a very similar taste when it comes to the ridiculous comedies, and so I'm going to take that off the list and add from 2020 my number 2 film of the year. I know Tim watched it and wasn't nearly as impressed as I was, but that is Ghost Killers versus Bloody Mary.
Oh my god, Tim wasn't the only one that wasn't as impressed as you were. It's not bad. I know it's your jam, and it definitely has its place. So
it's that over the top, extremely violent, just stupid slapstick humor that I freaking love. Reminded me of Evil Dead, Dead Alive, all that shit. And it's just, it hit every funny bone for me, especially when, well, I'll just kind of give a brief synopsis, but this is basically those YouTube paranormal investigators go into a haunted house. And
it's haunted.
And they hear about the legend of Bloody Mary in this high school, and shit just goes haywire. And when I watched this, I did not expect it to be like so extremely violent and blood-soaked and funny as it was. And there is a scene with a dancing baby fetus that I instantly just lost my fucking shit and was giggling nonstop for like 10 minutes straight. I had to pause the movie because I was just in tears dying because of how it was wiggling its ass and peeing in the guy's face. And oh my God, it is like that gross humor, but it is like, it hit every funny bone for me. And like, I know if Daniel's seen this, he would fucking love it because he has that same taste and humor like I do.
Yeah.
And then if you're like Tim and I, who are sitting here like, it was fine. You know what though? I when I watched Brain Dead this year, I realized why you like this movie so much, because you just like a lot of this over the top, gross out horror stuff, and that is fine. It has its place, and this movie is well made. I don't love it as much as you do, but I totally respect it being on your list. And I'm kind of glad that Tim and I have a common ground. I'll be honest. That's more what I'm happy about, is that we're both looking at you completely unimpressed.
Because it almost broke my heart when I heard Tim go, well, I finally watched it because Scott Crawford recommended it. Yeah, it was okay. Like,
bless Tim's heart. Tim, you watch movies that we like. You'll watch a movie like, how did I like this? I gave it a 1. I didn't dig it, but you'll watch something else I recommend. You're a good friend. Like, honestly.
Yeah, you guys are like you and the Horrorcast, actually. You guys and Mark Nato are the two guys that I listen to reviews and I take notes about what films you guys watch. And this one, Ghost Hunters vs. Bloody Mary, was one that I was really excited for. And it took me forever to find it.
Oh,
and
it's hard to find.
I did. Yeah. I enjoyed scenes of it. That fetus dancing baby was fucking hilarious. I think it went just too much for me. I can say right now, without a shadow of a doubt, that Daniel, you will fucking love this movie.
Yes.
It's on Dan.
For fuck's sakes, of course it is. After I've seen it.
Yeah, Daniel, you'll have to get to me when you watch this movie, because this one should be like the first film you watch out of everything we've talked about tonight, because I know it's your style.
I have to wait till next year, but I'll watch it.
Yeah, Tim has him too busy watching other movies. He's like, only 2021's moving forward.
Yeah, I'm not allowed. If I watch anything else, I get yelled at. He screams at me.
If you watch anything else, I'm making you watch Twilight again.
No, don't.
I couldn't even get through the last time. I had to shut it off. I'm like, fuck off. I couldn't even do it. They're bad. They're real bad.
Terrible.
Oh, that's great though. But Daniel, what's your number 2?
Well, you fucking nailed it, dude. Brain Dead.
Yep.
Dead Alive. Number 2.
That was my number 2. I took it off because I knew
Fucking
exactly.
10 out of 10
You do have a lot of similar tastes.
Also watched it for the first time last year. Tim was just like, pretty sure you'll like this. And we did an episode on it, and I fucking loved it. It's such a fantastic movie. Like, it's just so gory. It's so messy. It's so like just blood covered and fucking weird. And I love shit that you've never seen before. And it's like all practical effects. And it's actually fucking like it's not just gore. Like it's I remember it being like genuinely layered. Like,
yes,
there's a reason for everything. It's a whole like, I think it was like it's been a while in my brain shit, but like it was like a whole relationship kind of like
totally. No, you're right.
Thing.
You're right.
But and so like it wasn't just gore for the sake of gore, and it wasn't just like weird imagery for the sake of it being weird. It was all there for a reason. It all kind of made sense in the frame of the movie. But yeah, I think I really love Peter Jackson movies that don't have hobbits in them.
Oh man, fucking hobbits.
Like
I like these hobbitses.
Like I said, I accidentally doubled up on the Peter Jackson movies in the top 5 list, and yeah, like I can't believe I hadn't seen it until last year, but like it's a fucking straight up 10 out of 10 movie. If you haven't seen it, you need to fucking watch it. Like even just to say you've seen it, because it's like it or no, it's like nothing you've ever seen.
Yes.
Agreed. Agreed. Are you a fan, Tim?
Oh yeah. I watched it for the first time too when Daniel did, and yeah, I knew straight away that this is a movie that Luffy would love. So
you're like, I knew straight away it was of a smaller intellect, so I knew that it was something that Scott. When I watched it, I was so impressed by the practical effects. I wasn't a huge fan of the movie, but I respect the shit out of that film. And I think, Daniel, you summed it up perfectly by saying that. Like, even if you're not a big, over the top horror, like, I don't want to say grotesque horror. I'm not sure what to use there. The practical effects are incredible. They're incredible, right? So I respect the film.
There's gore, but it's not like visceral, sort of painful.
No.
How I can feel it gore. It's very over the top, silly, comical gore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's like people slipping around in their own blood and shit and
it's
all
silly.
that kind of shit.
And I mean, there's like a 10-minute scene of the dude like kicking the baby and throwing it around with like
which is pretty funny. Funny. Yes.
Yeah. I remember I was eating dinner when watching this, and that scene where they're eating pudding,
Oh God.
I had to put it down. I had to put my dinner down. I couldn't finish it because I was literally feeling ill. Like it was gross.
Hey, if you ever need to lose some
So
weight, maybe
good.
just put on Brain Dead and just, not, and it will help you eat less, right? That's awesome. That's awesome. My number
I kick
2.
ass for the Lord.
Yes.
That it's Kiwi and those can't sound funny.
See, we got the C word on this show. It's the only time we can actually say it without us looking like big offensive assholes in North America.
Oh, sorry.
Right? No, it's fine. You guys are on, so it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay
Australia
because
boss.
Aussies use it and they use it in a different way than we use it in North America. So we're
It's
just being
affectionate.
inclusive,
Yeah.
right? And we're just being
Yeah.
inclusive and accepting. My second is, okay, when this movie came out in the movie theater, I was 17 years old. I went the first night with my boyfriend at the time, and then I went the second night with my other boyfriend at
With
the
a
time.
different
Just
boyfriend.
kidding. I wish I was that much of a player. With my friends, and then I went on the Sunday, and it was Scary Movie 2000.
Do it.
I saw that
Do it.
movie 3 times on the weekend that it came
I
out.
don't need to write that down.
And whether people love it or hate it, I thought that shit was fucking hilarious. Like when he ejaculates and she gets stuck to the fucking ceiling, that shit is still funny to this day. Or the homeless man being like, I don't want a sandwich, bitch. I want money. Sandwich at her. Oh my God. And of course, like it was making fun of Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I forget what other movies. I can't remember which other ones it made fun of in the first one, but like loved it. I thought it was so fucking funny, and I can still flip through, see it, and watch it and laugh today. What about you guys? Are you fans?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Tim's like, I fucking hate it.
No. Okay, I did. Back when this came out, I remember watching it. Like, I didn't see it in the cinemas, but I remember watching it and like being somewhat offended because I was like this little fucking teenage horror fan going, "Hey, they're making fun of my fucking horror movies. How dare they?"
Horror movies are great.
So, but now, like, I can appreciate it now, and I fucking love it. I love the first 2. Beyond
Yes.
that, it just gets
It gets a
dumb for me.
little like there's parts that are funny, but they're not like the first 2, which are just like joke after joke after joke.
Yeah.
like even like Regina's overly gay boyfriend, which is pretty offensive now, is still really all right. I'll tell him that I love him. Like it's just funny shit that gets said throughout it. It's so funny, right?
Yeah, I fucking love the first 2 movies are fucking hilarious. They're so offensive, but my God, I can't help but just laugh. And
Right.
I knew this was going to be on your list. I just didn't know where exactly.
Well, you knew when I talked about the cinema, going 3 days in a row to watch this fucking film. They were all like, "What's this bitch doing here again?" I'm like, "I didn't like the movie." Like honestly, like I'm sure they were like, "What is wrong with this chick?" But so we're finally at our number. Oh no, we're not.
Tim.
Sorry, Tim.
I see.
Fuck him. Let's move
I
on.
know. It's late, Tim. That's my justification. What is your number 2?
All right. My number 2 is a film that when I first saw it, I fucking hated it. I really didn't like it, but it stuck with me. And it stuck with me for so long that I needed to revisit it, and I ended up loving it. And I won't tell you the name of the movie. I'll just say Bullshit Artist.
Oh my God.
We are talking about
Daniel and I are like, "Oh, I don't know."
Yes.
the Greasy Strangler.
Oh my God.
Oh,
I haven't seen it.
Holy
Fuck.
shit!
Yeah,
This
dude.
is a movie you need to
Yeah.
put on your list.
Yeah, this is
yeah, dude.
I can't even tell you really what it's about because still to this day I don't really know. But it's
Doesn't
a
matter.
movie that I guarantee, like it or not, it will stick in your head. Just the score alone, the soundtrack is a soundtrack I'll listen to just when I'm doing house activities. Then you've got the gross, like the practical effects side of this, and we said Dead Alive was gross. This probably ups the ante by 10. This movie is fucking
Really?
gross from start to finish.
Yeah.
If you're okay with seeing nudity, then this is the movie you need to watch. You're gonna see dicks in this movie. If you want to see big,
There's nothing I
floppy
love more,
dicks.
Tim. That's my favorite thing in the entire planet.
It's big like
But-
floppy old man dicks and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Old
That's
man
not my
floppy
favorite.
dicks.
That's not my favorite thing.
I mean, it's really big though.
Mm.
But this movie is actually one of the most quotable movies ever.
Yes.
Like, there's so many lines like "Hootie Tootie Disco Cutie."
Beauty. I was literally chanting that in my head as you're talking about this.
I urge you all, if you haven't seen this, go and watch it. I need to know what you think, because
I will.
It's a weird movie, but it's going to stick with you. It's probably going to make you feel sick. It's definitely going to make you feel uncomfortable. And you'll be reciting lines from the movie for the next 2 weeks.
So it'll be
Scott,
like
I'm sorry.
podcasting with Scott. Those are all the feelings I get.
Rough.
I mean,
shit.
I can relate with the Greasy Strangler, so it's all right.
I feel like there's no middle for this movie. You're either gonna love it or you're gonna fucking hate it.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Yeah, I've got friends who I've shown, and one of my friends who's a massive Troma fan hates this movie, and I don't understand why, but to each their own. Greasy Strangler, go and get Greasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Greasy.
So, I gotta give my thoughts real quick, because when Tim said, "Yeah, I didn't like this movie the first time I watched it," okay, I've only watched it once. I watched it when it came out. What was it? 2017, 2018, something like that.
2016
or 2016. Holy shit. Okay. So when I watched it, that was the last time I watched it, was that year. To this day, I still don't know if I like it. It's one of those films where I'm going, holy shit. It's like an earworm where this thing will get stuck in your fucking head and you're going, do I like it? I don't know. This film, it's so weird. It is the most bizarre fucking thing I've ever seen. Has some of the most funniest moments in it, but at the same time, it's just like a head scratcher to me. It's like, I think I love it, but do I? I almost want to buy it because I think I love it, but do I? I don't know. I'm so confused. And it's one of the best ways I can describe like the humor in this is if you've ever been a fan or have seen the Adult Swim TV show, the Tim and Eric show, then you will get the sense of humor, because that sense of humor lines up
completely
with
absurdist.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it hurts my head even thinking back on all the scenes, but like the potato scene, Porto,
movie.
potato,
Oh man,
Porto, potato, Porto, potato, just over and over and over again for like 5 minutes straight. It's like, oh my god, what the hell's going on right now?
I think he's saying potato. I go and rewatch it, because I had the same feelings my first time. I was like, I didn't like it, but it just stuck with me. And the second time I watched it, I'm like, I love this movie. It was I think it was number 3 of my favorite films of that year.
Nice.
So yeah,
I think I watched it initially because it was Elijah Wood produces it.
Yes.
Produced it.
Right.
And just anything he does is always going to be interesting, because
that's true.
He doesn't need money. He just does weird shit. And I love weird shit. So it was just like, oh, okay, he made it. All right, I'll check it out. Or he produced it anyway. And
it's one that I think, if I watch it a second time, just because I feel like I am Tim in that area, where it will probably be something I'd rewatch again over and over and over again, because it's just like, it just gets stuck with you. And then you just kind of love it because of how fucking absurdist it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But great choice, man. Holy shit. I completely forgot about that movie. So holy shit, we are on to our number ones.
Woo!
All right.
Yeah.
So my number one is going to be very basic, bitch. But I have a feeling it may be on someone's list. So I'm hoping I'm not stealing anybody's thunder here, but
we'll see.
I have to go with a sequel that is just absolutely amazing. It is also that ridiculous slapsticky humor. Stars a wonderful man from Michigan.
I know.
Right?
I get it.
The greatest chin in the world, and that is Bruce Campbell in Evil Dead 2, 1986, I believe. I could be wrong on the date. I'm not looking it up right now, but I just love this fucking movie so much. Bruce Campbell is Ash. This is where Evil Dead 1 is like so fucking horrific and one of my favorite horror films. Evil Dead 2 just takes that, ramps it up, and then this movie also is basically like where Bruce Campbell finds his character of Ash and just rolls with it the rest of the time. And it's that over-the-top gore, the Sam Raimi fucking hectic camera shots and fucking flying around the room and just such ridiculous slapsticky humor. I lose my shit every time when he like sits down in the chair collapses and the deer head just turns and just starts laughing. Then everything else around him starts laughing and he starts laughing and just kind of going up and down with a freaking lamp. And then they pause and then they just start all bursting out and laughing again. Oh, I love this movie so fucking much. It's been a childhood favorite of mine, and all-time favorite comedy. There's not much I can say besides that. This is horror comedy at its finest for me.
You fucking
Awesome.
bitch.
I knew it. I knew I was gonna take yours, Daniel. I couldn't help it.
Fucking bitch. All right, that's okay. Well, I stole your number 2, but I cheated anyway, and I put Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness.
Ah, nice.
Because I always watch them together.
See,
Makes sense.
they're a good combo. Like they do belong together.
I didn't know if I was cheating, but yes.
There's no rules here. We don't give a fuck.
Totally Evil Dead 2, and totally Army of Darkness as well. It's just fuck everything that Scott said. Sam Raimi's amazing directing, fucking Bruce Campbell being the most Bruce Campbell, and then just all the weird effects and the hand shit and the mini ashes and the evil ash, like in Army of Darkness and shit, like, and like when he's like saying the magic words and shit like that. Like they're just both together. Like I rate Evil Dead 2 over Army of Darkness if I had to pick one or the other, but together they're definitely just my favorite movies of all time, like hands down.
Awesome.
Like they never get knocked off the top spot for me.
See, Luffy and I, we've connected here. Like I
like them. I don't like them as much as you guys do, but I do think they're awesome.
Yeah, because I had you watch it for the first time when you came to visit, didn't you?
I did. That is correct. I did. Yeah.
Like
back
I don't
in the
have
day.
a lot of horror stuff, but I've got like a couple of like the Necronomicon like weird skin editions.
Yes,
of those ones.
That's cool.
The little one where you push the button and it screams and shit.
Yes.
Hells yeah, dude. All right. Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
that's adorbs.
You and I are on the horror comedy level for sure, Luffy.
I take it. Are you a fan too, Tim? You haven't said anything. Are you a fan?
I'm not a fan of Evil Dead. No, I'm totally joking.
Whoa.
He said it so serious, and I was like, "Oh man."
That's just like him saying, "Ah, man, I can't make it tonight." Just fucking caught me off guard, like you motherfucker.
Fucking classic stitch.
I get too nervous around Scott. That was really funny.
No, I think Heather, I'm coming in the same with you. Like I dig them. I appreciate them. They're not my favorite though, but I can appreciate the Evil Dead franchise. So.
See, Tim and I are slowly rebuilding our relationship here in film.
We're getting there.
We're really working on it. You know, we're really trying.
Does that mean we're gonna have to swap boyfriends here? Because I mean, Luffy and I are.
I can't break up you and Tim. I can't. I'm never going to be the other person in that relationship. My number 1 is Student Bodies from 1981.
Nice.
Wow. I can watch Student Bodies over and over again and fucking find it hilarious. Like when I first saw this movie in the opening scene where he's going up the stairs and he's like, "Fuck, there's so many stairs," or whatever he said.
Yes.
It was like, what is this? Or like constantly, you know, he's just helping her look for the bathroom when they walk away from things and they're going to go bang. And like just the over the top silliness of this film. This is, you know, where satires for me, like there would be no scary movie without Student Bodies. And I think Student Bodies deserves this place in horror comedy Hall of Fame. Whether you're a huge fan or not, you got to respect what they did in 1981 with making fun of the slasher genre. Because it was funny. And there was a lot of high school fucking slashers. Like there was a lot of that shit. And they just jumped on that bandwagon and it was mint. Are you guys fans of Student Bodies?
I've never actually seen it.
Oh, you would like it. It's pretty funny.
I think I own it, parody movie.
It's a parody movie. So as I said, there would not be a scary movie, in my opinion, without Student Bodies.
Okay.
Student Bodies is the original kind of parody of making fun of slashers. And I think you guys will both find it really funny. Scotty, you're a fan, I know.
Yes, you told me to watch this, and I'm like, when it first started, I'm going, "Oh dear God, this is definitely a Heather comedy." Oh my God, this is because it's just so.
We have different tastes in comedies for sure, yeah.
Right, but at the same time, I'm going, "Oh my God, this is fucking hilarious," but oh my God, this is ridiculous.
Like it's just making fun of shit. Like it's a parody, right? So you got to walk into it knowing it's a parody.
Death by eggplant. That is one thing I will say.
Death.
Oh my God, I need to say this now. I hate eggplants.
See, that's the problem. See, you'll like the movie.
Emoji.
Right? So now we're at Mr. Tim Davis. What is your number 1, Tim?
Okay, so mine's already been listed. Fucking Luffy ruined it with his number 5 pick. My number 5 was my number 1 was What We Do in the Shadows.
Nice.
Awesome,
that was my number 1 as well, Tim. So yeah, that's
nice.
Fair.
So I'm
fucked up
going
everybody's
to...
day, shit.
So I'll go and pick one of my honorable mentions here. I will just say What We Do in the Shadows is definitely my number one favorite horror comedy of all time. It's actually, it'd probably be in my top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, I thought it would be.
So,
sorry, bro.
Yeah. Motherfucker. All right, so I'll go with another one. I'll pick one right now, and one film right now is just beaming up to me and saying, "Pick me, pick me." So I'm just give me a second here.
You got to start taking meds again.
I got to say this title correctly. Deathgasm!
Yes, I knew it. As soon as you started clearing your throat, I knew it.
Nice, dude.
I was like, is he okay? Like, I was more concerned if we needed to like get his wife or something. So I'm glad that's not the case.
No, you can't say Deathgasm without screaming it. Fucking metal. Yeah,
nice. I'm digging it.
So, if you don't know what Deathgasm is, the story is two teenage boys unwittingly summon an ancient evil entity known as the Blind One by delving into black magic while trying to escape their mundane lives. This is a metalhead / horror head's dream movie.
Mm-hmm.
You have it's basically Evil Dead with metal guitars.
Yes,
pretty much.
I was thinking of it for my list and shit, and I was like, I couldn't fucking remember the name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought it because I completely forgot about Deathgasm and I am kicking myself in the ass.
I have not seen it yet, so I better watch it.
It's,
huh?
it's another Kiwi one too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's from
very nice.
It's from our not friends in New Zealand, and
not friends.
Sheep
Not
fuckers.
friends.
They're fucking dirty sheep fuckers. I'm joking. We like New Zealand.
You're like, please subscribe to our Patreon, New Zealand.
Oh, nice.
But Deathgasm, like, there's so much to this movie that you can enjoy. I mean, do you want to see like evil? I don't know what you call them, like deadite zombies being smacked around by a big black dildo? Yes, you do.
Anal beads?
There's nothing I love better than that.
Anal bead nunchucks?
Excellent.
I mean, my favorite scene in this movie is when they're trying to come up with their band name.
Yes.
Scott, you'll know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Let's go with
yeah, man, this is definitely a movie to go check out. I think out of all my list, the Greasy Strangler and Deathgasm are both movies that Heather, you need to go check out. I want to know what you think. So yeah, Deathgasm.
I just feel like this is a metal thing that I need to get on too, obviously, right?
Well, this was if we ever did our heavy metal horror theme, this was gonna be one of my picks.
Oh, well, I guess we'll have to do it. We'll have for Tim. That's why we got to do it now. So what we'll do is we'll go back around, and anyone who wants to list any honorable mentions that haven't been said or wanted to like recognize another film. So we'll start with you, Scotty. Is there anything you wanted to recognize?
All right. So yeah, I got 5 that I'm going to bring up.
Oh,
that
of course
is
you do.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil from 2010.
Great film.
Fucking love this movie.
One of mine.
Nice.
You know, once again, the whole hill people horror type film, but like just done like complete swap of characters, which is just freaking hilarious. Just like this whole everyone's just accidentally killing themselves around these poor guys. And it's once again, was it Dale? I think it is just so charming and just such a you just wanted to squeeze him. Yeah, you just want to hug him and squeeze him because he's just such a nice guy. And the movie is just oh baby, you just make me blush.
Will I make you hard, baby?
Oh, you do. But you know, I'll just like us flirting like this, we'll just roll into my next one real quick, which is Not My Hunky Boys, Psycho Gorman, 2021. Yes!
Funny movie.
Love that fucking movie to death. This is where I know Luffy and I definitely disagree, unfortunately. But also Cabin in the Woods, 2011.
Nice.
Brilliant take on like just the horror tropes. Reanimator, 1985.
Yeah, okay.
Because that one's just more of a dark comedy, but like cat dead, details later. I mean, and then once again, I'm bringing one that not many people have probably heard of. This is a Michigan-based film, Michigan-made, independent. Met these guys at a horror convention. The director, I think, is Brian Papandrea, and I think Nathan Rumler is also one of the people that works on this film. and it is called Fang Boner 2015.
Oh my
Yeah, dude.
god.
And it's basically about these two people that wake up that have been bitten, and they think they're vampires, but then they realize but they have to the only way to get blood is to suck dick and bite the person's dick.
I need
And
to see this movie.
It is
Oh
once
my
again
god.
super low budget and ridiculous, but it is like it's really micro budget.
It's like
super
two of my favorite things: blood and dicks.
right.
I love it.
Aw. And especially
Love
come
Antichrist.
together. Perfect.
Oh, they just do such a great job with this movie, and you just find out other ridiculous shit. They find out later on, oh, we didn't actually have to suck dick to drink blood. Fuck. It's just stupid shit like that. You just
See, that's why you just have to do it for the love. Of it.
exactly.
You know what I mean? So we just gotta love what you do and do what you love.
Yes. But yeah, this one they actually did get pretty good distribution on this, where it was actually being sold at Walmart's, which kind of shocked
Hey,
me.
that's pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it was picked up by Wild Eye Releasing, and
I'm
they
surprised
were
that Walmart was like, oh yeah, this is something we want to add to
Right.
it.
I was shocked.
Right?
But yeah, definitely this is just something micro budget. So if you're into that micro budget style filmmaking and you like the idea of the synopsis, go check this film out. Give some love to these local artists from my hometown. It's freaking great.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
So Luffy, what are your honorable mentions?
There's so many that are gone now. Ghostbusters.
That's
That
a
was
good
on my
comedy.
list.
That's really good. Yeah.
And This Is the End.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
Nice.
This Is the End is funny. Yes.
And what else I got? Beetlejuice.
Yes.
Very nice. Very nice.
And I couldn't decide between Happy Death Day or Freaky, but I think
Fuck.
I like Happy Death Day too. I don't know why
think
Tim
just to
hates it so
upset
much.
Tim, I'm gonna say Happy Death Day.
I don't know why you hate it, Tim. It's not that bad.
I could not stand this movie.
Perfect movie.
It's
And then they made
fine.
a sequel, and Tim was like,
It was even worse.
the sequel is not as good as the original.
I
agree.
never even bothered with the sequel because the first one was fine. I wasn't a big fan either.
See, you two are getting back
Yay.
together, right?
Yeah. Tim, love you.
My honey. Oh.
Oh my!
Oh,
We're just
yeah.
turning it up for what on this podcast? And I liked
Put 'em
Freaky too
away.
when it came out. Freaky was a nice little thing that slid into the end of 2020 last year. To make us all feel a little less shitty. So I'm really glad Freaky came out
like
last
Freaky.
year because I
Freaky
enjoyed
was
it quite
fun.
a bit. It was fun.
Even Tim liked Freaky a little bit.
Yep,
well,
I
I
remember
know
that
Tim
review.
likes getting freaky, huh?
Yeah. High five, high five.
High five.
Yeah.
For me, a lot of them have already been said too, but mine are a little bit more modern. I really thought the Banana Splits movie from 2019 was really
Nice.
funny. I just
seen
thought
it yet.
these robotic fucking characters coming to life and killing people was
Loved it.
hilarious.
That song is
I have a
fucking
very
Yes.
I just have a simpleton sense of humor. I enjoyed Cooties from 2014 with Elijah Wood. I
Nice,
thought that
yeah.
was
That-
a really funny film too.
That was on my list as well.
Yeah. And then obviously Scary Movie 2. We already kind of talked about the two first scary movies, and the part with the mashed potatoes is still fucking funny. Right? And Tim Curry being in it, and how they make fun of Rocky Horror Picture Show too, and just so much shit. And then
Take my strong hand.
Me too. And he touches the fucking food.
No,
Oh my
thanks. I
God.
can do it myself.
Oh fuck, that's the best. And then finally, just this year, a little bit of a shout out. If you haven't watched this 2021 film, though it came out in 2019, it was released this year's Benny Loves You. I think
Yes.
Benny Loves You is a lot of fun. Not everyone's got. Tim doesn't like Benny Loves You.
Cuddle
does
me.
you? Do you like Benny?
No. It was okay. It was all right.
It was okay for you.
So that's
Yeah.
a 2021
That's
one.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Luffy, you
Okay.
gotta check it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Luffy.
sick. All right.
Yeah,
Might do.
you'll probably find it funny, Luffy. I get
Yeah.
either it's a hit or miss for you, right? It's comedy is such a subjective thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
I'll give it
as
a
much
go.
as we teased him, everyone has different tastes, and comedy is definitely one area where it's very subjective.
Yeah. for sure.
But those were my honorable mentions. So Tim,
Great list.
what about you?
Nice. Okay, so some of my honorable mentions have been listed, but I've got a few here. I'll start off with the Monster Squad.
Nice.
Nice.
Going back to Universal Monsters, of course. Wolfman's got nards. How can you not love that line?
Yes.
Another one from the 80s is Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yes.
Oh, I've never seen that one. I got to get on that.
Oh, wow.
It's such a good movie.
Even I've seen that one.
Daniel's like, get with the times, Heather.
Yeah,
you
dude.
call yourself a horror podcaster?
Another one for Christmas time, actually, is probably one of my favorite Christmas movies, Santa's Sleigh. with
Oh,
Bill
God, I
Clinton.
love Santa's Sleigh. It's so funny.
It's the best.
It's hilarious.
That first
Goldberg.
scene with and then everyone in the first scene, like
Fran Drescher getting
Fran
like,
Drescher
killed.
and
Yes.
Chris Kattan.
everyone's
it's
you know
great.
everyone there.
Yeah.
So Santa's Sleigh is definitely one. Another one, Little Monsters. Have you guys seen that?
Little Monsters is really funny. I like Little Monsters quite a bit.
Yeah,
It's a good
and this is another one that had heart and almost had me in tears. So I like.
Oh
that
yeah,
one.
there's some feels. There's some
Yeah,
feels.
this is one where
Yeah.
I was not a big fan of.
Yeah, shut up,
really?
Scott.
Yeah.
No, the Scott has no soul. It's okay. Little Monsters is awesome. It's fine. too.
And the last one I'll mention, and I want to say this till last because it was actually on the news the other day. One of the stars passed away, and he was not old at all. And that movie is Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. Oh.
Yeah, it was one of the scouts. Who's his name? Joey Morgan, who played Augie, the fatter guy.
Oh,
Yeah, I do remember seeing that in the news.
That's too
Yeah, he
bad.
died the end of
Heart
November.
disease?
Undisclosed. So
Okay.
who knows? But no, this movie is fucking. It's funny as hell. It does. What's his name? He plays Champ in Anchorman.
Oh,
David
I know you're
Koshner.
talking.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, he's in it. He's fucking great in it. This movie makes me laugh. Like, yeah, once again, a movie with penises in it and a tribute.
Stretching penises.
Yeah, a tribute to Britney Spears. So yeah, what's not to love about this movie? So that's it for me.
Dude,
That's
that great
awesome.
list.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for you gentlemen being here. For everyone who's listening, you have a variety of horror comedies to listen to. As we said, comedy is very subjective and our lists are always personal. So please share your list as well. This is our final special international episode that we've done for the month of December, and we saved the best for last. Though Matt and Lance are going to hear that, except for you guys. You guys are great too. But it's just we've always had a very, very big love affair with Tim and Daniel. And it's just so rare that we're able to work together just because of the time difference. So we're so happy we were able to do that tonight. Or tonight, this afternoon, whatever time zone you're listening to this in. Do you guys want to promo your stuff so people can check you out?
Yeah, Luffy's gonna do it.
me.
Awesome, Luffy.
So
Tell us
just
where to
listen
find
what,
you.
What Tim says, and he'll say it.
Motherfucker.
You do it.
All
you know-
right.
you know how to do it better.
Yeah, I'll fucking I know how to do everything better than you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Horror for Dummies is a show where it's probably the dumbest horror show on the net that you can find. Because I teach the stupidest person in the world about horror movies.
You're just redoing your intro.
Yeah, so if you want to hear me and Luffy here discuss various movies, old and new, jump onto Horror for Dummies. You can find us anywhere. We're basically on every single app where you
Like
can find
Spotify,
podcasts.
iTunes, fucking wherever.
You said you didn't want to do it. Now shut up.
I'm helping. trying to help Tim.
And
But
if, you want,
of me.
if you want more info, go to our Facebook page. We are the Horror for Dummies Super Friends on Facebook. You can find our group there. Join us and just interact with us. We're fun. I like to think that we are.
Fuck yeah, you guys
Very
are.
fun.
We're both
You always
totally
have
active
question
on
of
there.
the week, and Tim always reads out question of the weeks. And no
Mhm.
matter how ridiculous your response is, he'll read it on air. And also, you're part of the pop. How do you do that pop noise for the powder room? Who does that? Who does it? That's you.
Daniel.
Me.
Yeah.
The Powder Room Podcast Network, and also like
Padded room.
Padded room. Sorry, not powdered room. Padded room. Sorry, James. Sorry, Darian. Probably don't listen anyway, but if you do, I didn't mean to
Hi,
talk.
boss.
In all fairness, it's like 1:30 in the morning for me. And why don't you promote your Patreon? Like, give a
okay.
Patreon. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a Patreon account. Where we have a bunch of different tiers, but over there we have a plethora of different shows. We've got the bracket shows where we all different topics. We just did one the other day, which is coming out on Christmas Day, which is the best Christmas movie.
Special Christmas gift.
Better be Greblins.
Oh, Scott,
Oh,
can you
shit.
please let Tim finish?
Look at him staring at me.
I know. And for everyone that can't see, Scott has got his face ridiculously uncomfortable to the
It's so
camera
close.
now and has stopped the
Aggressive.
Patreon discussion.
You know what? I'm going to come in right now and tell you that Gremlins is on the list, but it comes as close to the end as Jaws did on your top 10, top 10 70 shows.
Tim's like, how does that feel, Scott?
Yeah.
How does that feel?
You motherfucker.
Can he finish talking about his Patreon now, Scott?
I'm like Kanye West. I'll let him finish in a second.
Honestly, I feel like this is a Taylor Swift Kanye West event. All right.
Yeah, so we do bracket shows. I've got my own segment there called Tim's Top 10, where I do a top 10 on basically anything. We do another show called the Happy Magical Explosion.
Super happy fun time or some shit.
Yeah, something like that.
fucking don't
That's
remember.
basically our just recap show on horror news and what we've been watching
It's
lately.
basically all the cut we stuff, all the stuff we cut from the old show and put it in this one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then coming next year, we have a few new shows. I'm doing a Arnold Schwarzenegger tribute show because I realized that and Luffy too. I realized that I haven't seen enough Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, which is not right, and I need to fix this problem. So yeah,
Awesome.
And then another show called Behind the Boogeyman, where I talk about in depth our favorite horror icons. So
Nice.
a lot of shit on there. So if you want to become a Patreon member, join us, and I'll give you a blowy.
He will, and he's really good at it. So you'll really, really enjoy it.
He'll make
also,
sure you have a raging Scott Crawford.
Make sure you check out these gentlemen's wrestling podcast. If
Yes.
you are a wrestling fan and you watch AEW and WWE, which be real, like all you
AEW
other
is
people,
probably
like
what
most
you
people
watch.
aren't watching TNA or you're not watching Ring of Honor. And like if you are, you're
No one's watching
probably
Ring of Honor.
going to get annoyed by Tim and Daniel because they're real talk about WWE and AEW, and they do a really good job. So please check that out. And just support these guys. They are so good. You will not regret listening to their podcast. It is some of the most fun you can have.
And they are maniacs because they
it's
put
true.
out so much fucking content.
It's true. Well, Tim's a maniac. He edits all of it, and he
Yeah.
always like has
sharp.
the best editing ever. Daniel shows up and it's just like, the looks and the comedy, and Tim's the guy behind the scenes. And now he's showing off his tattoos this entire time. How many times has he stretched his arm back and I'm getting caught staring at his arms? Tim, stop it. I need to get to the
I'm sorry.
fucking episode.
It is so fucking hot here in Australia right now. I'm sorry.
I'm getting a really hot Scott Crawford right now.
Oh man, like, it's just
It's really veiny right now.
oh, for goodness sake. So okay, before we go, why don't you explain, Scott, how the Scott Crawford dick thing came to be?
Actually, how about you guys explain it? Because I can't.
Oh,
it was.
shit.
I know it was about something about.
It was about you going to Heredity, and then
Yeah.
or Heredity, or no,
Hereditary.
Heredity, right? Yeah. See, I can't speak either. And then you jerking off in the car about yourself, wasn't it? Was that what the story was?
I forget. Yeah, like what you guys said, but yeah,
It
something
was
about
like,
that.
You're Scott Crawford. You can do this and get it up, like something like that. And look, they're dying. All three of them are dying. That's what it was, wasn't
I
it?
don't remember that, but that definitely sounds like something we'd say.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember how Scott Crawford came up, but yeah, when we refer to a Scott Crawford, it just means big, juicy, veiny.
Just a
dick.
fucking monster erection. Just
And
a
I
phallic
love that that's a
masterpiece.
Like Scott, as the smoke show, he's referred to as a big veiny penis. Like honestly, and they're like, oh, there's Heather. She's there besides smoke show.
It's the emotional glue that holds us all together.
Oh no, I'm not, because I don't even get mentioned in your fucking show half the time until you're like, oh yeah, we like you too, Heather. Those two, you're going to say something in our chat that we have, like, because we do have a chat, and I do frequently go in there and bully Tim and Daniel because they don't mention me on the show and don't include me on the wrestling podcast. So
Now
they
that you've spoken about yourself eating so much box, maybe we'll refer to you so much more.
you know what?
Box destroyer.
Box eater. Box eater.
I mean, Heather, Boxing Day is coming up, isn't it?
Oh, it sure is. I'm getting ready, Scotty. It's a big day for me. It's a real big day for me.
The jaw workout and shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Stay limbo.
That's right. You got to do what's best for you. So again, thank you, gentlemen, for being here. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we leave?
Yeah, just one.
No, I meant Tim and Daniel. Scott.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
I just want to tell everyone listening right now that you should go check out this cool podcast called the Friday Nightmares Podcast. They're our best friends and we love them. And Heather eats a lot of box, and that's cool too.
On Boxing Day, but specifically on Boxing Day, it's a big day. Thank you, Tim. No, we're always so glad when you guys can be here, and it's so special when we're able to do this together. So now, Daniel, did you have anything you wanted to say before we pass it over to Scott?
Nothing up, cunt.
No,
I don't know.
Yay!
All right, Scotty, you can see us out now.
All right. Well, I just want to say, once again, thank you guys so much for joining us. Like, I know it's a bitch working with our schedules just because of our time zone.
Oh, it's in the afternoon for them. They're fine.
Yeah,
we're the ones that are struggling right now.
Well, but I mean, we've also done it where they were recording at midnight before
that
too.
Is true.
So.
That was when I was doing night shift, so it's sweet.
Right. But I just gotta say thank you guys so much because I fucking love working with you guys every time. I have such a blast. Love the shit out of both of you guys. Wish we could do this more than we do. Yeah. But when we get this chance, it's fucking great, and I cherish every moment of it. And I have actually told people that don't even listen to podcasts what a Scott Crawford is, because that's how much it's been inspired now. You guys have inspired.
He wants everyone to know about his big dick, that he's known as big baby penis. That's what he
his
wants.
Dick out at people.
It's like, what Scott
Do
Crawford
you know what this is?
So Scott's banned from majority of the states now.
That's why they left me in Michigan.
That's why, right? For sure.
So yeah, I guess I will close out the show and just say, once again, thank you guys for joining us. Please go check out the Horror for Dummies, Wrestling for Dummies, Kaboom. If I'm not sure if that's coming back for sure, but go to their Patreon. They've got a lot going on. Oh,
don't forget about subscribe to Friday Nightmares. Oh, he's yelling at the cats. Okay, subscribe to Legion Podcast and listen to Friday Nightmares on the Kill the Cats feed and all the other awesome Legion Podcast shows that we have there, as well as please join the Legion Podcast Patreon. We are of many. So now, Scotty, now that you're done yelling at your pussies.
Thank you for that, because good Lord, the bunch of fur just went flying and there was lots of
I saw you mute and you were just pissed. So
guys,
do you want me to close this out so you can go deal with your out of control pussies over there?
Yeah, I'll mute. You can take care of that real quick if you could. Thank you.
All right. Well, Scott's got to go take care of his cats because he has 18 of them. So until next time.
He pulled out a shotgun. America. Am I right?
America. Fuck yeah. And he's in Michigan too. I don't know why he doesn't have his shotgun. So until next time, what do you want to say to the good people, Scotty?
Until next time, everyone, have a wonderful and happy and safe Merry Christmas, because this will be out on Christmas Eve night.
What else would you rather listen to on Christmas Eve night, honestly?
Exactly. So until next time, kiddies, unpleasant dreams.
See ya.